Can't tell you how excited that our team is about being able to play Maryland this week. We got going on Sunday and immediately put the Georgia State game to rest and moved on towards Maryland. It's something our guys are looking forward to. Don't have many regional rivalries left. This is the only one that we play this year. Look forward to many more in the future. But our guys are familiar with Maryland and they're excited about being able to play them. They're a different team than what they were last year, different team than what they've been the last couple of years. You can see offensively that it's just a different unit with C.J. Brown healthy and playing. He's had a good year so far. He brings a bunch of balance to their offense. We know he's athletic, but he's got athletic guys around him as well. They want to be they want to be balanced in the run and the pass. Got two good backs in Ross and Reed that can run the ball in addition to Brown, and then obviously two good guys on the outside and Diggs and Long that have tremendous big play potential. So it'll be a huge challenge for our defense to be able to stop those guys defensively. Coach Etzel's obviously emphasizes defense. They stopped us last year. Now they got a lot of new bodies from last year, but they did a tremendous job against us last year. They stopped us. It wasn't one of our better performances last year. We struggled to get first downs and score. And it's the same scheme. It's a lot of different bodies. They have depth. They got guys that have played last year, started a variety of games, but it'll be a challenge for us because of what they do schematically, match up, and they know our offense very well. And then the kicking game, obviously we got to contain their returners. They have good overall team speed, which is very beneficial to special teams, and when you have a return guy that's as good as anybody in the country, it's going to be problematic. So, but the guys are excited about going to Baltimore. It's important to our administration. It's important to our fan base, and it's important to our kids. It's important in recruiting. Looking forward to playing at Ravens Stadium in front of a good crowd and a good atmosphere, and I know it'll be good for both for WVU and Maryland. So with that, we'll take some questions.
Dana, can I get something out of the way right now? You've got Terrell Chestnut listed as your backup cornerback replacing Broderick Jenkins.
Yeah. Broderick's no longer with the team, so we're excited about Terrell's been doing a good job. His knee's been healing, so we've been wanting to get him more involved, and we'll have him up there. Avery Williams is another guy that will be getting some reps this week at corner. Daryl Worley played a good bit last week and has got tremendous upside potential as a starting corner around here for a long time. With KJ being hobbled up, we moved him into the nickel spot, which opens up backup spots at both corner spots. So we'll see how those guys do this week and continue to get Daryl as involved as we possibly can.
Coach, can you talk about how successful the adjustments have been in the secondary, especially at corner, considering you've only given up about half the yards to the air and only 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, I haven't seen the throwing threat that we're going to see this week. The way these guys throw the ball around a good bit, they've got big play potential. I mean, you look at Diggs, who's got almost 400 yards in 3 games and 3 touchdowns, and Long, who's got almost 200 yards in a touchdown. This will be a different challenge for us. I'm excited to see how those guys respond to that. But Keith's done a great job. Coach Gibson and Coach Mitchell have both done a good job technically. The scheme is relatively the same as what it was last year. Keith's made some minor adjustments to it, and they've been playing well. Haven't been challenged like we'll be challenged this Saturday.
Dan, all your walking wounded from last week, what's the status on, Greg, KJ Dillon?
Yeah, they're cleared, so we'll see how they progress in practice. KJ will be a practicer today. Doug Riggs cleared, will be a practicer today. Christian Brown went out with a very minor leg injury. Has been he didn't play a ton, but has been cleared. We're practicing today. Garrett Hope missed with a concussion last week. He's been cleared. He'll be available. Everybody's available.
Isaiah?
Has been. We could have probably put him in last week. He was gimped up a little bit because of the thigh bruise, but he's available. Adam Pankey's getting close to being available. He's been elevated to a green jersey, and it's going to take some time for him to get back in the swing of things. But he's going to start being a practicer. So we're as healthy. Nobody's ruled out, other than the surgery guys. Tyler Tazzino had knee surgery. Was redshirting, but he had some knee stuff that was dysfunctional. So he's got his knee he had surgery on his knee, got that thing cleared up. Will be a 6-month rehab process, but other than that, him, Dozie, Nana, and Shaq, those are the 4 that are out for the year. Everybody else is a practicer and as healthy as we've been.
Dana, with Diggs, I think the obvious comparison for people is the Tavon card. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but could you put one against the other and compare and contrast?
It's pretty similar. They're both from Baltimore. They both wear number 1. They're both a receiver, returner. Doesn't get a whole lot similar than that. But he's proven to have big play potential. Is probably a little bit better. He's got tremendous start-stop ability, but he probably has more downfield potential than what Tavon did. Tavon didn't have just a ton of downfield potential. All his stuff was get him the ball and let him make a ton of people miss and then go score.
Do you guys do anything differently going into a pro stadium? Is that any different for you guys at all?
No, it's easier because the facilities are good and it's not 100% home crowd. So it's much like the Big East was when you went to Pitt. West Virginia had a lot of people. When you went to when I went to South Florida, it was a bunch of West Virginia people. We played in bowl games that are NFL stadiums. We went over to Cincinnati and played in that stadium, which so facility-wise it's good. We know it's going to be a great facility. Last year at the Redskins facility, our guys get kind of jacked up about that because it's a big stage, and much like Mountaineer Field is, the other 9 opponents in the Big 12, you go play on their field, and it's 95% the other team, regardless of where you play. So I don't view this as really as a away game. It's more like a neutral site game. It is a home game for Maryland, but I feel like we'll travel pretty good, and there'll be some Mountaineer energy in there.
And Juwan Snow is your defensive scout team player. Is he getting to the point where maybe he can help you in a game?
Yeah, he was on the shelf for quite a while. I've made comments about that, and the last 2 weeks he's been functional on the scout team, and going to give him a shot to be able to play a few special teams, see how he reacts to that.
Talk about Worley and his role as the nickel. If something happened to Banks or Bell, would he be the first guy in? And how would you handle that transition?
Yeah, he would. I think Banks and Bell have been playing relatively good. They haven't been challenged like they're about to be challenged. But playing relatively well. He's the next guy in, yes. He looks good. He brings energy. He does some things out there athletically that I don't see happening very often. He's got loads of potential. Can he be an every down player? Yeah, it's only a matter of time, whether it happens this year or next year or whatever. Yeah, he'll be an every down player, and he'll be a tremendous corner for us. If he has to go in, what do we do at nickel? I mean, we'd like to get KJ back this week to where KJ can go in at nickel. KJ had done that for 2 weeks and did it at a pretty high level. Having them both will bring a tremendous amount of athleticism to our team at those spots.
You're typically pretty cautious with your praise. That's what you just said was effusive, I guess, in terms of Worley. What gives you the confidence in him, and what has he done, and any danger in doing that?
Yeah, I mean, the O-line played bad last week, and I sat here a week ago and I patted them guys on the back. I mean, so, geez, I probably shouldn't compliment anybody, but no, you know, I say that jokingly. I mean, you know, Daryl's been playing well. I mean, every time we put him out there, he's a very, you know, he was our special teams guy the week before, or no, maybe it was this week. Stuff runs together, but and we made reference to him because he's extremely attentive. He asks questions, he practices well, and he's eager to get into the game, and he brings energy once he does that. Don't think our team did that very well last week. I don't think our energy was great. Thought our sidelines were dead. You know, just didn't see a passion for the game. I do anticipate that will be fixed this week.
From week 1 to week 2 under Ford, what improvements do you expect him to make?
Oh, I don't know. We hadn't practiced yet.
What are you?
What he needs to improve on is sense of urgency, which you know he's night and day better right now than he was a year ago. Okay, but with that said, his sense of urgency needs to pick up because the speed of the game is going to increase. Maryland's got good team speed, so he needs to make reads quicker. His footwork needs to be a little quicker. The release needs to be a little quicker. Everything needs to happen a little quicker. And that's just experience. You can't duplicate game experience. So we put him in a lot of different situations, but that was different than what he had ever done. And this week will be different than anything he's ever done.
And with Broderick, can you offer any clarity? Was it a dismissal, or did he just choose to leave the team this week?
Yeah, it's internal.
Get it back to Ford. I know that opposition was what it was, but when he went play action, he was really successful. Is that something he's good at and you guys go to, or is that just because he had a nice day?
You know, he was better at that than I anticipated him being. I thought he did a real good job under center. I think he did a tremendous job of selling run. Obviously, us having the ability to be able to run the ball puts us in a better spot when it comes to play action. Underthrew a couple of them, or it would have been even better. But they were playing down. They were doing their absolute best to stop the run. And when teams do that, we have to have the ability to be able to go over the top. And Ford did a good job of selling that and then putting the ball out there to where we could take advantage of that. I would assume Maryland's going to do the same thing. You know, they're a little better up front. They do a good job of stopping the run. They did all last year as well. Whether they have to get their safeties involved, I don't know. I hope they do, because I think we need to be able to run the ball, and once we do that, we need to be able to play action and have guys be able to go downfield and make plays downfield, like Ronnie did. Ronnie did a good job of that.
It can be hard, though, because you're turning around, you lose sight of the field, but I don't know if it's fewer reads or he's just comfortable.
No, it's not fewer reads. It's the same stuff we've always done. I think him having the ability to be able to see over the line is important. He's 6'5". He can get his eyes downfield, and he's up here, you know, to where he can get his eyes down there and kind of identify those guys and see where they're at and put the ball where he needs to. Whether that has anything to do with it or not, I don't know. I just want the ball to go from point A to point B effectively. He can improve on that a little bit. I was pleased with the action. The action that he played with, I thought was good.
What do you see from their defense in the first 3 games? More pressure, less pressure? I know in the past they pressured you when you didn't, when they weren't normally doing that.
Oh, he's going to pressure. I can assure you that. And one of the things we did a poor job of last week was identifying zero blitz, IDing the front the correct way, and giving us enough time to be able to get rid of the ball. They probably did it 6 times, got to us twice, hit us twice, and we did the right thing twice. That's not good enough. They've shown where they did that against us last year. So yes, they will zero blitz us. They will pressure us. I'm not so sure they don't come out doing it every single snap. You know, if they do, then we got to be able to handle it. Against Old Dominion, they played back the whole time because Old Dominion wouldn't run the ball. I think we've shown where we're going to run the ball, where they're going to need to put people up in there. You know, and part of that is going to be pressure.
Is that tough for Pat? I mean, who hasn't played a ton of center, to identify the front and call out blitzes?
Nah, it's not tough. He's the one that can handle it more than anybody. You know, it's just an overall communication issue with coaches and players that we identified some things that we need to change, and we have, and we will get better at it this week. I hope they zero blitz us every snap.
How much different is it for you guys offensively having that option to run? How much has that changed, opened things up for you? Because you're doing it a lot more effectively this year than you have in the past couple of years.
Doing it more effectively, I mean, there's times last year where we were running the ball 50% of the time. I mean, there's, times at Oklahoma State where I was running the ball 50% of the time. If we had this rushing attack last year throughout the hard part of our schedule in the middle of the year, it probably would have turned out a little bit different. So happy with where we're at that. We'll keep working hard at that. It's been an emphasis, as everybody knows. We'll keep getting better at that. Our backs have got a tremendous amount of confidence in them and their ability to be able to break tackles, and O-line be able to get some push, and then we got to keep working on our pass game to be able to get it to where they're not putting 9 people up in there every time.
Did you like changes at receiver last week, Carl? I don't think any this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you happy there or still
No,
not sure?
Oh no, not happy. And I specifically said we're going to start these 3 guys because these 3 guys bring something to the table that the other 3 don't possess, which is big play potential. Now, did we see that out of a couple of those guys? No. That's why I also said that KJ, DeKeel, and Ivan are going to play a whole bunch, and they need to keep improving. And was really proud of how DeKeel and all 3 of them, because Ivan made a couple of real big catches. Downfield catches. DeKeel made big downfield catches, and KJ came in and was Mr. Consistency. So they're all going to play. I mean, how much they play is going to be based on what their production level is.
A lot of your comments on offense are you don't quite know what you are, who you are yet. It's going to take time. Do you feel the same about your defense because of who you played and how they've max protected? They've been kind of one-dimensional. They haven't been like what you're going to see Saturday. It's kind of an unknown on defense too.
Yeah, we haven't faced a passing attack like this yet, and so do we feel better about where we're at defensively? Yes, absolutely. Do we feel like we've got it figured out? No, said that last week. Maryland's going to bring some challenges that some other teams in the Big 12 are going to bring as well. The ability to be able to do both. Oklahoma State and Baylor, our next 2 opponents, are going to have the ability to be able to big play us, and they're going to have the ability to be able to run the ball, whether it's with the quarterback or running backs. So this will be a good test for us to see where we're at. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.